That has to be first realized. What is your category? And if you are that category, of the category which is seeking beyond what you have, and that you are not satisfied with what you have already, then you are the category of seekers who have been seeking something that is very subtle, that is not gross, not intelligible through your sensory organs. How it happens within us, it is very interesting to see. Within us, as I have told you, there are these subtle centers which have developed through the process of our evolution. Through the process of our evolution, we have become human beings. While we were becoming human beings, all these centers have been also evolving within us. These centers are placed in the spinal cord, in the center of the spinal cord. And they manifest outside grossly on physical level as plexuses. As they are evolving inside, also the outside, the gross plexuses are also evolving. For example, animals do not insure their lives, do they? They have fear. They know how to react to fear, but they do not know how to insure. After some time, the animals forget their children. Animals can pass through any filth, any dirt, any untidiness. They don't understand tidiness, neatness. Animals do not organize. Animals don't plan. They do sometimes when they have to catch hold of a prey. But that too, not too far. Like we have 5-year plans, 10-year plans, 20-year plans, as the human beings have. They do not put any energy into that. The reason for all this is that man has evolved much more than all the animals put together. He is an evolved soul. Now, these evolved souls have also got a category of greater evolved people who are not satisfied with the general norms of life. For example, there are people who are interested, say, in having power. And they want to have power. Till they die, they want to have power. Till they die, they won't give a resignation. I mean, sometimes they put one foot in the grave and still the resignation in the another hand. In case they do not die, and they have to pull out the leg, so it's better to keep it hanging. There are people who stick on to other games of life, like money game. They are money-oriented people. They find their securities in money. They run after money. They plan out everything according to money. All their lives they are doing that. There are third type of people who indulge into so-called love affairs and things like that, into emotional movements of their mind. But there are some others who think that these things are not so interesting for them. So the fourth category takes to religion, to know about beyond. They read about the prophets, the great scriptures, all the great religions of the world. But as the pioneer of the religion dies, the followers somehow or other built in fanaticism around. And fanaticism is the death of religion. Is absolutely the death of religion. I have seen people who get cancer are sometimes fanatics. If you could cure their fanaticism, you can cure their cancer. Because all such false identification requires extra energy in a man. He has to stick on to some sort of an obstinacy. Now supposing I am holding on to it and I do not want to leave my hand from here. For nothing at all. I say, no, I am not going to leave. No, this is the thing I believe in. I am going to stick on to it. Then I require a lot of energy to hold on to it. But if I could be free and see, it is better. Like I remember a gentleman fell down from the 16th story and he was asking for help and help. And he saw people passing from the back. He was holding on to one of the rails. And he could not understand how the people are passing around. He said, help for what? He said, I am falling. They said, where? Here is the road. He had just near the road had caught hold of the rod. And he was asking for help and he was just shouting. When they said, this is the road, you better put your foot down, he fainted. Because he had put all his energy into a nonsensical thing, believing into a myth, and myth always takes away your energy, while the truth enriches your energy. Because you don't have to hold on to the truth carries you along. Any kind of fanaticism is not your way, as I told you yesterday. And if anybody is a fanatic, then he is not a seeker. Because he is found, whatever it is. He has to deal with his fanaticism and his faith. So the another category of people are there, which are anti everything. Everything that is established, anything Christ, they are against Christ. Anything, they are reactionaries. They are against Nanak Sahib, they are against Muhammad Sahib, they are against everything that has been established. Because whatever is established is not true. Those who have established have taken a mythical attitude. When they take up a mythical attitude and they try to stick on to it, those who think about it are shocked. And they think these are drunk people, these are possessed people. So they say, all right, we are not. So we become atheist. We don't believe in God, we don't believe in any spiritual power, we do not believe in any divine power. We do not believe in anything that is said before. According to them, all prophets were wrong, all religions are wrong, there is no God. The wisest people ever born. So there is another category of extra wise. You can call them intellectuals. These days I don't know what you call them. This is another category. Now there's another very subtle category which tries to exploit all these things that are existing. Some of them do it because they do believe that they have found out something new, like psychologists, like Freud. They are ignorant absolutely half-baked people. They do not know the whole thing. They just know a part of it, and to them that's the truth. Like you find a needle somewhere and say the needle is the whole world. They know very little and they don't know what to do with the needle, and so they come out with the needle saying needle is the world. And such people are very anxious to write books and convey their messages to the world and communicate to the whole world what they have found. While whatever they have found out is nothing but just a few drops of truth. And they are trying their level best to spoil. Now there is a category of another people which are sinister. In that you know so many types which I do not want to discuss here. From Hitler you can start all kinds of brutal people and all that, they go parallel with all these categories. But I would say the worst of all are those who try to make money in the name of God. And the worse than that, the worst of all are the people who try to play games with God. Those who take money are openly bad. But those who try to play with your kundalini, with your realization, are really to be called as demonic categories. And all such people should know, as Blake has said, that they will go to the hell from where they can never rise. Now, whether you believe it or not, there is God. Sahaja Yoga is a thing today which has reached that stage where the category of people who are men of God, they do not proclaim on the streets that I am a man of God. No. They do not stand up with banners in their hands that I am the man of God. They are very normal people. They are householders. They have children. They have grandchildren. They are very simple people. They lead a very ordinary life. They are not very successful people, but they are people, men of God. And these human beings of God are the ones I am talking about, is the category you people are. If you are not that category, Sahaja Yoga is not going to work on you, to begin with. Later on, when we have a particular number of people, the evolution will take such a dynamic form that thousands of people will receive their self-realization. Now, the self-realization is the thing in which an ordinary man who looks an ordinary common person, but who is actually a seeker, a true seeker, not a false seeker, but a true seeker, receives the grace of the divine and becomes a prophet. He becomes a prophet. This is what Sahaja Yoga is, that it makes you a prophet, and a prophet of a very unique style, because the job of today's modern prophets is very different from the prophets which came before, as I told you yesterday. The prophets who came before, as we celebrated yesterday Guru Nanak's birthday, and Muhammad Sahib, and all others like Moses, Abraham and all these, was to maintain your sustenance through giving you 10 commandments. And these 10 commandments exist in that center there, where you see the green center, you can see it very clearly in your stomach. The religion is in your stomach. It's a thing built within you. It is not that I can give you a lecture about religion, but it is built within you. It is inside you. And this religion is to be maintained, was to be maintained. That time very important was that people should know what helps them to be a human being. And that was the job of all these prophets. And they did it very well. But their disciples and maybe their followers made them into fanatic religions. You can't help it. I mean, I have always said that they were like living flowers on this earth, who came one after another on the tree of life. And people just plucked those flowers and said, this is mine, this is mine. The flowers became dead, ugly, and useless. That is how fanaticism has prospered. And all the fanaticism in these modern times is challenged. Everywhere. People can see it, that it is not logical to be fanatic. But as a result of ego activity in thinking, they go to another extreme by which they condemn even the real flowers, even the originators, the ones who came on this earth. This is going too far from the right point. From one extreme to another extreme they are moving. Now the speciality of the modern prophets is that you can make other people prophets. That means you can give them realization yourself. This is the difference between the Sahaja Yoga that worked out at the time of other people. That's why there was hardly one or two realized. At the time of Janaka, say about 8,000 years back, when Sri Rama was ruling, his father-in-law was a great prophet. And he had one disciple whom he gave realization. And with very great tests and all that he took under his own guidance, he gave him realization. But today the time has changed because the life tree has increased, has reached to that state of maturity where thousands of you have to be transformed. It has to be done. It's the God's plan. And those who fit into it are the people who are of the category who are seeking. Now, such category can be understood by many ways, and there are some tests to understand what these people are. It may be that such people could be extremely nervous people, could be, because they cannot bear the unrighteous, sinful, deceitful world. The whole atmosphere may be jarring them. That's why they are very shaky. Could be they might be very nervous because of that. They could be a people who might be recluses. There might be people who might be hot-tempered. There might be people who are escapists. There could be the people who could be druggists, could be alcohol. There could be anything. Because they are running away from the so-called horrible reality. Sahaja Yoga is a thing which establishes your reality within yourself, by which you feel secure, because your reality is beauty. It is joy. And then you don't want to run away from that. This is what we have to understand, that we are here to receive our reality, to know ourselves. By knowing ourselves, how many things can happen to us, you have no idea. The whole property that is you are, the whole wealth that you are, the whole beauty that you are becomes your own. You become the master of your own being. This is the first thing that should happen. Means your ill health must get all right. You know there are people here who had very serious diseases who got completely cured. You know there are people who have mental problems, who had epilepsies and things, they are cured. And how it happens? Just by knowing yourself how powerful you are. Just think of that. Think of your own powers, that just by knowing yourself, how you have become so powerful. But this knowledge is not through your rationality, that I am such, I am Napoleon, I am this. This kind of a knowledge is really stupid. It's egoistical. But this knowledge is a dynamism in your own awareness, is a new perception within you by which you become something. You become a different person. You become a higher evolved soul. And then you realize that you have suddenly become a being who is collectively conscious. Some progress very fast, but some do not. Some progress tremendously fast. I know of a gentleman who was supposed to be a drunkard and used to waste all his money in races and he did all kinds of things. He used to smoke like a chimney. And when he got his realization, the whole room was filled with fragrance. And everybody said, "This man, how can we believe, mother, he is this and this and this?" I said, "But this is what it is." This was all the clouds upon him. And all the clouds have gone away, and you see the sun coming in him. He's a different man. I don't believe in the clouds, I believe in the sun. If I see the sun is there. I don't see the clouds at all, I see the sun. Perhaps I have more penetrating eyes than you have. And I see the sun in the man, he has risen out of that. And now he's shining like a sun. So accept him and bow to him. He's the one who was seeking, really, within. He thought that by playing races he'll find joy. He thought by eating food like that he will have joy. Or by smoking like that he will have joy. But he never was satisfied within himself. He never got involved into it to that extent that he lost his own being and his seeking. And that's how he is the one who is a true seeker. Sometimes it is shocking to see in Sahaja Yoga how people get transformed just like that. Just the change starts coming. As if some magic has happened in the person's life and he changes. But actually it is very simple to understand. When it rains and the whole place is so foggy, you don't feel like going out anywhere. It's so grey, you feel so horrible. But when the sun comes out, everyone, children, old people, young people, the housewives, all of them come out to greet the sun. When your sun comes out and you see your brilliance yourself, and then, it's me. Is it me? Oh God. And that starts transforming. And you are amazed to see yourself the way you are transformed. That has to happen to you. But for this, already God has planned within you all these things very beautifully. As beautifully He has made your exterior, He has made your interior equally beautifully, very delicately, and with very great care. Within you lies the Kundalini. In the triangular bone, the sacred bone called as sacrum, which gives you realization. This is the one about which Christ has said, "I will appear before you like tongues of flames." What is that? Every person has talked about it. But the trouble is, how will you explain tongues of flames? Kabira has talked so clearly. He has said Ida, Pingla, Sushumna. Everything he has talked about Kundalini. Shankaracharya has talked about. I would say William Blake. You read him. You will be amazed. He is talking of today in his book Milton. He is talking of Jerusalem of today. This place, this England is going to be the Jerusalem, is the pilgrimage, where the people of God are going to be the prophets. He has talked of today, can you imagine? He was not very old, he was not very ancient, very modern. He has prophesied about these days, and it is happening. You don't have to worry about these things. It is God's plan that He has done it so well, and individually all of you have got this Kundalini in your triangular bone called sacrum. See, the word sacrum means sacred. How did they know the word sacrum to be put for this? Is sacred bone. This was discovered in ancient times, long time back, even they say that Indra was given realization by Dattatreya. To that extent, how many years back it was done. But it was a guarded secret. It was done for very few people. Only it was Shankaracharya who started first. Adi Shankaracharya, I would say, not these. But the Adi Shankaracharya started talking about it so clear. Everywhere you find, even in Quran or in the Bible, everywhere it is said, any scripture which has lasted the time, it said that you are to be born again. Now people have taken a note from that and they certify, I am a twice born. Now what is the proof you are twice born? Everybody says, I am a twice born. It is absurd. What do you mean by twice born? As I have told you before, that a bird is called as twice born in Sanskrit language. And a real life soul is also called a twice born. As the bird is an egg, and when the egg breaks, we do not see the egg, but we see the chick coming out of it. In the same way, it has to happen to you, that when your egg, which is made by the formation of ego and superego, the yellow and the blue on your head, has to break, and then you become a new personality. A personality which is very different from what it was before. Egg doesn't grow, does it? But the chick grows. Now the growth starts in the spiritual arena, in the spiritual understanding, into spiritual education. Now it starts, not before that. You start feeling the divine power around you, and you understand that you are a universal being. All these nonsensical ideas of race, of different religions, of different communities are products of human endeavor, or we should say the human thinking, which is so stupid sometimes that it is impossible for a person like me to understand why we have to carry a passport from places to places. The God Almighty also must be failing to understand how this has been worked out by the great wise human beings. That He made only one word. He didn't make many words. He just put some rivers and some nice mountains and some hills and dales to make it a beautiful, interesting place for you. And you have divided into nations and into cities and villages, and then into smaller places, and then into a road, and then into your houses, and then into your kitchen. That's what we have become. But the category of the people about whom I am saying, they can't remain in their kitchens, they can't remain in their houses, they cannot remain in their nations, they transcend the whole universe. They cover the whole universe because they become universal beings. They cannot think in these terminologies. It hurts them. It hurts them. You see, it would be like a great person being put in a sack. You just force him to get into a sack or into a cup. How he'll be hurt? Either the cup will break or the fellow will throw it out. It's the ocean you are trying to put it into a cup, which you cannot do it. And such a stupidity has been done so far. But the time has come for all the oceans to be awakened to their greatness. Once they are awakened, they will throw away all these minor boundaries and all these nonsensical barriers that has created such a mountain from one seat to another seat. where two beautiful human beings are sitting and are fragrant with the fragrance of universal joy. After realization, only you can also enjoy another personality. Normally, you can. What you enjoy is his car, or his house, or his dress, or his looks, or his behavior towards. At the most, his intellect, his success, his horses, I don't know what else. But after realization, you just enjoy his vibration. You just enjoy him in his innate thing. You do not see his age, you do not see his caste, you do not see his race, but you see all this Chaitanya, these vibrations coming from the person, and you just enjoy for hours together, just feeling that. So enjoy. One person like that walks in, and all of you, this should happen to everyone. It has to happen. The time has come for this happen. That's why we have so many seekers. They are being ill-treated, they have been deceived, they have been used, people have made money out of them. I accept. But then I have to accept also that in seeking, you had to be tested also to see where do you stick on. If you want to the truth, want to go to the truth, you will discard everything. And once you come before the truth, you will have it. And that's why this testing has to be there. Because there is ego. Human beings have their egos. They think, oh, I will do this. I can do it. I can sort it out. All right. God says, all right, have it. Have it your way. Then they'll go and break their heads, break their legs, break their hands, and then come saying that, Mother, see, I have broken everything. Now, what will you do? So, all right. The Sahaja Yoga has to work it out. But why do all that? Come straight to the truth. Now, one has to understand that before realization, you don't have to do anything. But after realization, those who do not understand their own esteem, they do not value their potentialities or their powers, can lose their vibration in the early months. It has happened with many people. They have lost their vibrations completely because they have not paid any attention to themselves. They have not tried to improve themselves. They have not tried to keep up the vibration. It's like enlightening any light. We have to look after it for a while till it takes its own form. And that is how in Sahaja Yoga, so many come, get realization. But those who grow are the real Sahaja Yogis. The rest of them are wasted, are just wasted. They'll come back again, but they take too much time. And the divine does not have interest in such people. It does not help such people. So I have to request you that if you are seekers, you have to have your realization. Without that, you will not be happy. But you must have full idea and responsibility about yourself, that you are now an enlightened light. You are a beacon, and you cannot afford to hide yourself. You have to give light to others. You have to work it out that way. It's not now a question of only one Christ bearing the cross or one Muhammad talking about the message or one Nanaka fighting the whole world. It's all of you put together have to fight it out and work it out. That's what it is today. That's why Sahaja Yoga, one can say, has reached a state of Mahayoga. Sahaja. Sahaja means born with you, is spontaneous. It is within you. The whole thing is within you. Just like a seed sprouts, the Kundalini sprouts spontaneously. You do not have to do anything about it. But when it becomes Mahayoga, means it becomes en masse. Thousands of people can be given realization. In India, we have someone who has given realization to 10,000 people in a village. He's just a farmer and he has done it. So you can imagine how much you can do. But the West, as I've always warned you, it's a very ego-oriented society and people are very exclusive. Everybody wants to sort out. Immediately after realization, everybody becomes the Archbishop of Canterbury. And they think no end of themselves. You have to have spiritual knowledge after this. You have to know everything about it. You have to master it. You have to master your body, you have to master your mind, and you have to master the whole art of Kundalini. Then only you can say that it works. Otherwise, it's just a waste. You are the people who are in the foundation, and you have to be the strongest people. You have to be the masters of Kundalini. Absolutely the masters of Kundalini. It's not individual. This is Mahayoga. Anybody who tries to be individualistic will be lost, will be no more in the circulation. This I have told you 100 and 101 times. And the spirit can only grow in collectivity because the nature of spirit is universal. You cannot achieve anything exclusively. Those who tried it will fail. You all have to join together and should know that you are all awakened people in the primordial being. You are like the awakened cells who know the primordial being and who have the powers by which they can communicate the powers of God to other people. You all have to be absolutely one with each other, not to find faults, but to love and enjoy each other. That's the best way you can move. As you know that the subject is so varied and it requires so much of explanation, for which now we have lots of tapes, and if you people want, you can get tapes from Douglas, who has really put in a lot of effort for it. You can play them and can understand and can improve all your knowledge about Sahaja Yoga. And now I'll be going to India, and perhaps there may be only one lecture more, where it will be just a farewell function we'll have. I would like some of the Sahaja Yogis to ask some questions today, because it's a nice opportunity for you to ask some questions. But not the people who haven't got realization, because those who haven't got realization are not entitled, because they do not know. They have no news about it. They don't understand. They should not ask any questions. Those who are Sahaja Yogis should ask. I mean, it would be something like those who have never visited India are asking questions about India. Better go to India, find out about yourself, see it in deeply, how it is, what it is, and then you can ask questions. Not just visit Delhi, talk to some westernized Indians and come back and tell me stories about that. In the same way, those who have not been to England, meet some of the politicians or something like that, go back and tell some things about England, which I will not believe and you should not believe. You have to understand the country on a philosophical level, on philosophy. Where are they? And unless and until you understand that subtle thing, you cannot say anything about it. For example, for England, I have always said that the young generation of England are the best in the whole world. Take it from me. Whether they are English or whatever it is, whatever nationality, but the young generation that are English are the best. No doubt about it. Because they have developed, no doubt, but they have kept their wisdom intact. India, the young people are developing and they have to go through all your discotheques and all those rumble-tumbles till they come to the stage where they'll take alcohols and then they will take to your drugs and then they might take to Americans are too shifty. They have not kept their wisdom intact. But thanks to the tradition of British that you have kept your tradition still intact. And you know about your country because it's a small country. So I depend very much on the English youth. But if you ask anyone else, they will say, oh, these English youth, extremely rude, arrogant, good for nothing. Drugged, lethargic, useless. But I have seen now young people all over the world, and this is what I have to say about it. Now I would like you to ask me questions. First the Sahaj Yogis, then we can ask the non-Sahaj Yogis. You have become thoughtless actually, you cannot ask. This is the trick of Sahaj Yoga. When it crosses this point, you cannot think. Even if you want to think, you cannot. No questions? Now, non-Sahaj Yogis, please.
How about time to do meditation?
Oh, there's nothing, no rules. You go beyond that. Every time you are in meditation only. You see, what is meditation? You cannot do meditation. You have to be in meditation. You become meditative. You are all the time in meditation. I mean, there's no time when you are not. Because you become a different person. Those people who do meditation, I don't know how they do it. Really, I can't understand. Because which is the way you enter into the realm of meditation. Unless and until the Kundalini takes your attention to that state, you cannot meditate. So how can you do? You cannot lift the Kundalini with your hand and put her there. No lift can work it out. It's only through spontaneous awakening that the Kundalini rises. So you cannot do meditation, and once you are there, you are there. So there is no timing, nothing fixed. But it depends on the kind of a person they are. For example, should I say somebody who gets up 11 o'clock in the morning, doesn't brush his teeth, rushes to the office, comes back home, sleeps at 2 o'clock in the night, can't sleep before 2 o'clock. Then such a person has to develop certain habits. Because we have to neutralize the habits that we have had. You see? So maybe that time we'll have to just turn the tables and we can manage. We can change all our habits. And we can have such habits by which we neutralize our old habits. It depends on what sort of a person it is. For example, we Indians have a bad habit of getting up very early in the morning and having a bath in the morning. Whether it is England, America, or even if you are with Eskimos, we'll do that. That's typical. Otherwise, we don't feel happy. Just before going to the office, we'll take our baths and walk out in the cool. I mean, it is the greatest punishment for an Indian to say you don't take your bath. I mean, after coming to England, some of them have reconciled. And to take bath in the night and sleep, they can't believe it. They just don't know what it is. So, they get lung troubles. Some of them have got lung cancer. One of the common diseases I've seen among Indians is what we call it the heart chakras, the cardiac plexus catcher. Common. The reason is this, that they have no consideration about the temperature outside. Now, if you tell them, they can't believe me. They think a religious person must take his bath every day. That's the idea they have. Not in England. I mean, you can take your bath every day, but not the bath and just walk out, you see. Then I have to tell you, can you have your bath, say, thrice a week or 4 times a week, if possible? But to an Englishman, you better get up at 4 o'clock and have your bath. It depends on who you are. So there is nothing like having a fixed thing in Sahaja Yoga. It depends on what sort of a person you have, what habits are there, what are your loopholes, what are your weaknesses. So we have to look after that. Like it's very common practice. Supposing we have to go to my house from here. Now you don't know how to go, so you see the map, and whichever way you have to go, you just go. It's a new life. It's a new map. So you have to see which way you have to go, you change accordingly, and you go accordingly. You cannot have a fixed idea now anymore. You have to see. If your car has got a trouble with its brake, better is to repair the brake, isn't it? Or will you say that doesn't matter? Even if my brake is bad, I'll go ahead. As long as my tires are all right, I don't care for the brake. Sahaja Yoga is just the opposite. If the brake is not all right, don't worry about the tires, but think about the brake. It's very discretionary. You become very discreet about yourself, and you start repairing your car. That's yourself. Because you get out of your car and you see the problems. You are not identified anymore with you. For example, say Don would come and tell me, Mother, I am catching on my agya here. Now what does that mean? It means actually ego. But he will have no objection in telling me, or he will no way feel ashamed to tell me that my ego is like a balloon here coming up. Mother, better solve the problem. You see your ego so clearly and you want to get rid of it. Anybody would do that. But if you tell somebody before realization you have got ego, you had it. I've never done that. And none of you should do. Let them feel the agya after realization, they come and tell you and you move it. In the same way, any other trouble, even for diseases, if you tell somebody that you have such a disease, he may jump down from here with fear. In Sahaja Yoga, you come to know about the diseases much, much before any doctors know, because on your fingers you can feel. But you don't have to tell the person at all. You just talk in your code language. What is catching? You tell this is catching. Ekadasha Rudra is catching. All right. What does that mean? That's the beginning of the cancer. There's already for it. So Ekadasha. Clear out the Ekadasha Rudra is all here. Now nobody knows what is Ekadasha Rudra is. Except for the Sahajogi. And they know there is no danger because it is curable. So they clear it out. That's the beginning of a personality. Where he starts getting into this trouble or that. And say left agya is catching. Is a sign that he is going to lunatic asylum. And little combination. You don't have to tell the person, but you can save him from going to lunatic asylum. We need never go. People have come down to our program to lunatic asylum, and when they went back, they were told you better not come here. It can happen like that. It's very simple. It is so simple you can't imagine. The whole thing is so simple, but you have to learn what it is. You can cure people. You can help your atmosphere. You can do lots of things. The greatest of all, that you become the collective being. So it changes. There's no time, nothing. You are a free bird. It's all freedom. There's no bondage. You yourself want to sit down meditating. Now I came here. I was supposed to talk and start my speech. But I was enjoying my meditation so much, I went into that. All the time you are in meditation mode, and you can enjoy it anytime you want to.
Do you hope to come back to England in the near future?
Do
you hope to come back to England in the near future?
No, I am stationed here. Absolutely, I am glued to this place for 5 years more. And I'm going to come back very soon. I'm there only for 2 months or 1 month. I'll be going to Australia, so 3 months altogether. I'm back. I'm sure even when I go back after 5 years, your government won't object my coming here. I hope so by that time. So it's just I had to come here. I have been now here 7 years and 5 years more. 12 years, can you imagine? All right? That should set you all right. That was one of the fears, is it? No. Now, is it all right for all of you? Anyone else? Dharma. There's a tape on Dharma and on Guru, which you can see. Dharma is the sustenance which is established by an aspect of God in our stomach. Our stomach teaches us our dharma. Dharayati sa dharmaha means the one you sustain is your dharma. For example, the dharma of gold is that it is untarnished. The dharma of carbon is it has got 4 valencies. If you have seen the periodic laws of chemistry, you will know that all the elements have got their own dharmas. And they are given these dharmas by the law of God. It's a divine law which has given them these dharmas. Up to the stage of human beings, the dharma of a person, of any animal or of any element is determined absolutely by divine laws and they do not cross it. For example, a lion will behave like a lion. He cannot behave like a cat. A scorpion will behave like itself. It cannot behave like a lion. A tiger will behave like a tiger. Tiger is the king and he won't eat anything killed by some another animal. Only when he is hungry, he kills the animal and he eats whatever he likes in one gulp. And then he rests and others come and eat that. He won't eat anything that is eaten by others and he won't kill anything that he need not kill. He is the king. That's why if one tiger is killed in a forest, the whole forest seems so gloomy because their king has been killed. Though he is a terror for them. But he lives with his own dharma, with his own boundaries. He doesn't cross his boundaries. Any one of these, up to the human level, have their own dharmas. Only the human beings have been given the freedom to cross the dharma. They can. In a human being, you can find a lion, you can find a serpent, and you can find also a worm. You can find the combination of all that in one person, or in the whole group you will find all kinds. But if they want, they can transcend. And the greatest thing is they can transcend the dharma itself. Means they become so great that they can be sinless. Just they can't do anything. These dharmas are established within you. These 10 commandments are there within us. If you try to transgress them, you are losing your dharma. You are sustained, beyond which you have to rise. For realization, you have to rise beyond dharma, dharmatit, beyond. But first your dharma must be established. If it is not established, you cannot rise. But in Sahaja Yoga, even your dharma is disturbed, is forgiven. Still you can get your realization. Then you establish your dharma is better. Because it has been seen, those people who try to establish their dharmas can become extremely dry. They can be fanatic. The compassion part of it is lost. So the compassion itself works in such a way that all adharmas you have done, whatever you have done is forgiven. And you better have your realization. And with that power you establish your dharma. And you have to establish. For example, you know that alcohol goes against your awareness. Awareness is the main thing, which is enlivened, enriched by dharma. The human awareness goes down through alcohol, you know for definite. All the great saints who have looked after the dharma, the prophets have said against alcohol and against smoking. Muhammad Sahib did not say about smoking because they did not have smoking. But the same person came as Nanaka. As Guru Nanaka, he has prohibited, absolutely prohibited, anything that intoxicates you, your awareness. Because they knew that it will harm you very much. It does harm you. You lose the chances of your realization very much. It is true that it is injurious. One thing, as alcoholism, I am saying, there can be something else people do, like thieving or anything like that, is against your sustenance. But Sahaja Yoga is a method by which you first get your realization and then your dharma is to be established. So that you are empowered by itself. For example, I never tell people don't drink because half of the people would walk off. Even Indians. They just drink like, I don't know, fishes. I don't know if the fishes drink, but human beings do. And then if I tell them, they'll be very angry. We had a doctor here who used to drink. He came to me. He got his realization and he went to Germany. And he was fond of a kind of a wine, a special wine they make in Germany. He said, let me try some of this. He had given up because, you see, you don't remember that you have to drink. You never get bored enough to drink. You see, you feel, what's the use of getting up and getting a glass and all that? I'm enjoying myself. Why to do? You are never bored of your company. You enjoy yourself so much that you don't want any drink. Like when you get the nectar of life. Why should you get after these horrible things? You just don't do it. But this doctor thought, oh, how can that be? I may have forgotten, but today I'll have it. So he walked into a pub and asked for the thing. He drank. After that, he had such a pain. He vomited all that. And he told me the same wine which I used to enjoy started smelling like cork to me. As if cork has been pushed into my tongue. I just couldn't bear it and I vomited. And I had pain in the stomach. Mother, what is this? I said, all right, it's good. You cannot do that, Adharma. You just cannot do it. You just become that. You just cannot do it. Even if you try, it just works. I mean, there are people here, at least 50% people, who have been druggists and chemists. Absolutely. They have given drugs just like that. Just like that they have given drugs. Of course, they had to get over the after effects of drugs. That's different. But as far as giving it is concerned, no problem at all. No problem of any kind. I didn't have to tell them even. It just happened. Dharma is established. Because when the light is there, you see what it is. But this seeing is not what you understand before realization is through your rational being or through your sense organs. But is a happening within you where you become that. You just feel it. You just can't help it. That should happen. Is the best. Because human beings otherwise are difficult. They find it difficult to maintain it. Now, I mean everything they surpass. First they used to say, what about our social relationships? Their social relationships have improved. Their jobs have improved. Their all material things have improved. If you don't drink, I mean you save 50% of your money as it is. Practical. Apart from anything else. But according to Sahaja Yoga, it's much subtler. Because the power of maintaining our material well-being is called as Lakshmi. And this Lakshmi is a very powerful deity or a very powerful thing. But alcohol is one thing, or any such things like drugs and all that. As soon as she sees entering into the being, she just disappears. She just can't bear. So a person may think that by drinking he doesn't lose his money. He is sadly mistaken. If he does not drink, he will have 10 times more money than he has. And you can see the result today, that when Englishmen were known in India, Englishman's whiskey meant this much every night, that's all. Today, if you see the same thing in third generation, you will be shocked. I mean, first time I came to England, I was surprised, because to us, Englishman means one peg, so little, before sleeping, very decent. That's what we thought. They were gentlemen of that caliber. When I saw here, I was surprised. Oh God, what is this? What Englishmen are these? So this happens in third generation. If alcoholism somehow or other reduces in England, you can surpass all the economic problems. Take it. Absolutely. You will solve all your economics. Just stop alcohol. All your strikes will stop, because they want money for what? For alcohol. If you get money, have an alcohol. Somebody dies, have champagne. Somebody passes, champagne. Somebody married, champagne. For everything there's a champagne. Even in the church, you see barrels and barrels of whiskey flowing in. Barrels and barrels of this thing is flowing in. I mean, even in the church now, today somebody told me that he's got a special wine from a Catholic church, which is called as Benedict's. And it's a special one. I said, where did you buy that? He said, in Rome, in the Vatican. You can only get it there, the best. I was surprised that you could only get it in Vatican, and he was so proud of it, and he was showing me that. And now it is called as Benedict. Just imagine. Benediction. Benediction is that which gives you realization. What realization does the drinking give you? I don't know. Only thing I have seen, that people fall on the streets. They talk like stupid people. You don't know what to do with them. It's most embarrassing. So this is what is dharma is. That it just enlightens you. And you enjoy your virtues, not your weaknesses, but your virtues. And you enjoy the virtues of others. That's what is dharma. That has to be enlightened. May God bless you. You have to just put your hands just like this. Just like this. Put both the feet on the ground. Please close your eyes. According to the way the Kundalini is moving, which I know on my own Kundalini, I will ask you few things. Please try to do them with earnestness and alertness. Now, I have to request you to forgive everyone. Forgive everyone. Those who have troubled you, tortured you, have made you unhappy, anyone. You just say, I forgive. It's very important. Just try to forgive. Say, I forgive. Mother, I forgive. I forgive all of them, all the people who have tortured. Just say that. From your heart, please say that I forgive. Please close your eyes. You have to be honest to yourself. Just say that. I forgive. Only saying is sufficient. Only saying, but say with the heart. It will help you a lot if you can say that. Forgive everyone. Everyone you forgive. When you forgive everyone, actually you leave it into the hands of God. Punish them or do whatever they like. And that's the best way to manage the thing. Just say, I forgive. Best thing is to leave it to God, to do the job. Whatever it is. You don't take the load. They may be nasty, they may be horrid, they might have tortured you, doesn't matter. Just say, even Christ said, just Again, please say. Close your eyes and say. Because if you do not forgive also, what do? You are playing into their hands. Nothing is harmed. They are not harmed by your not forgiving them. You are harmed. Because you are remembering all that, you are harming yourself. You are tortured by that. You are torturing yourself, not them. Now the second thing you have to ask is the forgiveness yourself. Because might be some mistakes must have been committed. By mistake you might have done something wrong, something unrighteous. In seeking you might have done something wrong. So just ask God to forgive you. That's all. You put your right hand on your heart and ask for forgiveness. Would be better. Left hand towards me and right hand on the heart. Now asking this, you must know that He is the ocean of compassion. He is the ocean of forgiveness. And He is the ocean of love. And He is anxious for you to enter into His kingdom. He is the one who wants the culmination of His creation into a beautiful happening by which He gives you the complete joy of your being. So you just ask for His forgiveness. But do not feel guilty about anything. Whatever has happened is forgiven. So you just say that if there is anything, please forgive, but do not feel guilty. I think best thing is to say, I am not guilty. Again and again to say that I am not guilty. Because that's a very common practice here, to feel guilty. Let Him judge. Not to feel guilty at all is very important. Please tell yourself thrice that I am not guilty. Now the Kundalini will rise. And you feel absolutely thoughtless. There is no thought in your mind. You'll see that. Just see, is there any thought in your mind?